Hey, welcome to a quick little video. The other day, I talked about the first issue of the Kamen Rider Zero-One comic, and it occurred to me as I was editing it, and after I finished editing it, that there were a number of things that I either got wrong or didn't notice, or neglected to talk about, so I wanted to do a quick little update video to follow up on that and talk about those things, so let's get right into it. First, this is really something I should have double-checked before the video. The identities of the writer and artist. The writer is Brandon Easton. He's probably most notable for writing an episode of the Thundercats reboot, IDW's Mask Comics, and the Transformers Armada Free Comic Book Day issue from back in 2003. He's had a pretty big body of work over the years, but I'm just not really familiar with any of it, so I still don't really have much to say about his contributions and what his work could potentially mean for the future of the book, but most of what he has written appears to have been generally very well liked. There's a couple of weird things like Transformers Deviations, which had a whole bunch of hot rod hate, but generally it seems most of the things that he has written have been very, very well liked and are overall good, so that's a good sign. The artist is Henry Passetia, who I'm fairly certain I am mispronouncing, and I actually am familiar with him because he did art for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Boom comics for a little while. It's pretty good art. It's one of the better artists the Power Rangers comics had, and like I said in the main video, I think his art on the Zero-One comic is very, very solid and works well for the book. Also, in digging into it for the video, I checked his Twitter account, and apparently he does NFT stuff, so yikes. Regarding Ragnarok's connection to Hirobi, I think this is just me being an idiot and seeing a connection where there isn't any, because going back through the issue, it doesn't really seem like they're connected. Hirobi seems about as curious and in the dark about Ragnarok as Aruto is, so I think I was just seeing stuff and connecting it where it doesn't belong. In my defense, though, it is still a little vague, and I could definitely see in one of the later issues revealing that Hirobi is in fact involved in Ragnarok's creation in some capacity. Finally, there is the big one, the timeline, and you might notice I'm recording this bit again because the first time I attempted to do this, I turned out to be even more wrong than I was the first time, so I wondered in the initial video when this took place. When I re-recorded this, I brought up that I mentioned that Naki shows up, and that places this really near the end of the show. This panel that I thought showed Naki turns out doesn't show Naki. I'm an idiot, and now the actual placement of this is kind of all over the place. There is kind of a way to narrow it down. Izu mentions cluster cells, which is what Metal Cluster Hopper's sword is made out of, so this is at least after episode 22, when that form first debuted, but the specifics are still unclear, and Aruto was not in control of Metal Cluster Hopper for a while, so this is probably somewhere between episode 22 to 39. It's still really hard to figure out exactly where this is supposed to take place, but since it has to be after Metal Cluster Hopper, yeah, Aruto totally should have tried to use his upgrades. If not Metal Cluster Hopper, at least Shining Hopper, or even Shining Assault Hopper, which I'm pretty sure he had at this point as well. There's also some other minor continuity issues, like in Izu's briefcase in this bit, there's a couple of keys that show up that shouldn't be there, like Sting Scorpion, which Hirobi has right now, and Amazing Caucasus, which Guy has right now. Combine that with the mixed up colors, where Sting Scorpion has Freezing Bear's color, and Freezing Bear has Sting Scorpion's colors, the fact that Izu tosses Biting Shark at Aruto immediately after that, despite the fact that it doesn't appear to be in that briefcase, and this completely inexplicable fuck up later in the issue where Izu tosses Flying Falcon to Aruto, which now I'm not even certain she's even supposed to have at this point, but the narration box says it's Flaming Tiger. It kind of makes me wonder how much, quality control and double checking was really actually done in the process of this book. It seems like the editor should have caught a lot of these. I don't know if it was out of ignorance of the show, or if the notes they were given to go off of for this weren't super complete, but there was some screw-ups in there somewhere, and now it's really making me wonder about the future of this. I still think overall it's a good issue, but now with all these extra potential continuity issues and just general screw-ups, I am a little bit more worried about how it will go in the future. If it's just more minor stuff, then whatever, but if this continues to be very, very severe, then we might go from a decent comic to just plain bad. Yeah, those are all the things that I could immediately think of that I screwed up that needed correcting for one reason or another. If I missed anything else, I'm not going to do another update video on this issue in particular, and hopefully I don't screw up again, at least to the point of needing one of these for the future issues. So that is going to do it. Since this is just a shorter video, I'm not going to bother with the full-length plugs. Links to stuff in the description. Subscribe, like the video. That's gonna be it. So I will see you guys next time.